So McIlroy, I was with the group ahead of McIlroy, but got to see a lot of Rory playing because I was just kind of keeping one glance over my shoulder as what was happening. And yeah, he just walked off the 7th green, and we just had a little chat about life, really.
About life.
Yeah, a little,
on moving day at the Open Championship.
What we're up to next week, and
He goes, "Hey, Iona, what are you up to next week?"
Yeah, he was like, "Hey, like, how's it going? What are you up to next week?"
Welcome to the Erik Anders Lang Show. Zipping up a bag. It's all good. Keep going. We just finished up a ton of voiceover here for the Breaking Muirfield series. Thanks to PrecisionProGolf.com for supporting the Erik Anders Lang Show. You can go to PrecisionProGolf.com/Erik to get your code to get a discount on the NX10.
$20 off any rangefinder in the shop.
20 bones. You know how many bones you have in your body? 20. And that's what you're going to get a refund.
That's why I swing so smooth.
You're going to get all your bones back. Today on the RGC Universe, we got a big week, actually. I'm pretty excited for the primary collection, which is coming out on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know
hats.
Do you know the inspiration for the primary collection, JoJo?
Tell it to me. I think I know, but
you tell it to me.
Yeah, but I want to hear you sell it. That's what it really is. I want to hear you talk to me about being on a driving range.
What do I have to do to get you to leave here with this primary collection today?
It would have to be free. No. It's all good stuff.
It's not free.
Do you remember the bag?
It's modeled after your time at the driving range when you got into golf. You specifically.
And amazingly, it uses the same primary colors that you see on the driving range.
Yeah, of the yardages.
You got them real quick. What does a yellow mean to you?
300.
Blue.
200.
And red.
100.
And white.
150.
Nice.
Am I right?
Yeah, I think you're definitely.
Maybe yellow's 250 though. Yellow's 250.
Okay. And what is black is 300? We have our fact checker, Keffer Rhodes.
He can only
could
nod
grab a
or shake
mic. All he has to do. There's a mic right there, and he could.
He
grab
doesn't
it.
want to do it.
No.
Listen to the previous episode, but someone may have touched his blank spot. Listen to the previous episode. Anyway, so we've got the primary collection coming out. There's a golf bag. There's some head covers. There's a T-shirt and a couple hats. So very excited about that.
It's Wednesday at noon. Go to randomgolfclub.com. It's also Breaking Muirfield Week. We're releasing videos on the YouTube channel.
I'm very excited about this. We took 4 women of different skill levels out to Muirfield ahead of the AIG Women's Open. And, it's a lot of great golf, a lot of beautiful scenery. And, it's just the question is how would an amateur golfer play? The question is, how would a female amateur golfer play ahead of a women's open, specifically the AIG Women's Open at Muirfield? Interesting story.
I will confidently say it's the best golf you've seen
on the
channel in a long time.
For sure. No lost balls, first of all. So there's one. Anyway, moving on. It's great episode. Check it out. And Iona Stephen today on the podcast. Always love chatting with her. This is our second episode we've done. Keffer, you were there for the first one in Dubai. And so Iona came by. We were over just off the 18th green at the old course there, and she came by after doing like a 15-hour presenting gig.
Yeah, because remember the rounds during the Open were so long because just the length of the hitters. And she came right by. I think she changed into a polo, like
during the show,
right on the spot. She was went over to the Sounder Clubhouse, grabbed a green polo, and was like, "Okay, let's just do it." Sat down for a 10-minute conversation that quickly became a 40-minute one, as they tend to do.
Well, I lied. I said it's only going to take 10 minutes. I knew full well it wasn't going to be, but she was fine with it.
Yeah, and it was an incredible conversation. You do not want to miss it. It's all about abstraction in golf, so zooming out. We'll get out of the way, but first,
I want to thank FanDuel for making all of the episodes and content that we made in Scotland possible. Every week you can bet on the PGA Tour using FanDuel Sportsbook. And if you're an RGC member, new customer, or whatever, you can bet on the tour with a no-sweat first bet, and all you have to do is use code RGC. If you don't win, you'll get up to $1,000 back in free bets. So use your no-sweat first bet today and see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. For me, you get paid fast, it's a safe and secure app, and there's great promotions every day. So head over to the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up using the promo code RGC to get started with your no-sweat first bet of up to $1,000 today. Thank you, FanDuel Sportsbook, the official betting operator of the PGA Tour, for making this content possible. Use the promo code RGC, please. Now, on to Iona. Not the most relaxing week of your life.
No. but probably one of the most brilliant.
Yeah. How long have you lived in St. Andrews?
Well, I went to university here, so that was my first stint, 2012.
Stint is usually described for prison time.
Well, that is definitely the polar opposite of my time here in St. Andrews as a student. That was my heyday, back in the heyday. I lived in the halls over there.
Okay.
They used to be called New Hall. They're now called Agnes Blackadder Hall. And it was a stone's throw from the driving range. And I used to just roll out of bed, head to the driving range, see all my pals, and what a laugh we had. It was just not a care in the world, and the world was our oyster.
So at that point, did you know, were you into golf already then?
I had just got really into golf.
Okay.
So I had abandoned ship at university in Glasgow.
Yeah.
I was studying architecture.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going all in on this golf thing.
If you want to hear more about that story, go back to our previous podcast where we go deep into that story and the coach that you had. And
exactly.
It's a beautiful story.
It made me cry.
I mean, I didn't.
The story made me cry.
But it's a wonderful story, and we don't need to go there again. It's a busy week for you're working this week. Did you ever think that you'd be here? I guess full time, 4 a.m., 10 p.m. broadcast journalism. I don't even know what you call it.
Yeah, no, I guess broadcast is the term for it because I'm kind of a jack of all trades, really. The second half of that sentence, but master of none.
Oh, I was like, trades? Jack?
Jack of all trades, master of none, I think is kind of where I'm at, really, with this broadcasting malarkey. But not in a million years did I think I would be here doing this,
Right.
But this has been, I can feel my voice, it's been on tenterhooks in the last few days. It's on its way out.
It's a lot.
It's a lot,
Talking. Do you do any yelling?
No yelling.
Try not to yell.
I mean, I did a little bit of woohooing when Rory McIlroy held his shot on 10 today.
Are you standing there?
I was literally right there.
Whoa.
And that, I'm still completely buzzing from that.
So you've spent all day talking about what's happening.
Yeah.
I've heard your voice. I don't see you, but I hear you, and I feel like I'm next to you. What haven't you been able to say?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because you're kind of editing, right? I mean,
there's very short snippets. It's bites. You're in and you're out, and
because there's someone outside calling you in, and they're like 3, 2, 1, and then you start talking.
Yeah, even less than that. It's no 3, 2, 1. It's just Iona's mic live, and you're in. So that's commentating. There's commentating is a real skill, and it's a skill that I'm learning. I'm definitely not a master of it at the moment, but I aspire to be. And it's a craft of words. I think you'd be a great commentator, Erik, because it's people that can use words to paint a picture. And I think there's old school commentary, which I feel sadly is kind of fizzled out a lot because in broadcast now it's shot, 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 shot. So you get a lot of just calling the number, calling the club, and a little bit of flavor. But there's
so many players that they've got to just contextualize.
Yeah. Like if you think of like old school commentators, like late Peter Allis, he's known as the voice of golf, and he never said anything in a hurry, and he always allowed pictures to breathe. And the power of one word, if it was the right word, is an art. And there aren't that many opportunities to commentate in that way anymore. And I feel like as a female voice coming into commentary, I have the opportunity to bring a different flavor and perhaps something softer and lighter. And ultimately, as I say, I went to art school, and before I came to St. Andrews, I'm in Glasgow. I was at the Glasgow School of Art, and so I think I have quite an artistic mind, and I try to, and I'd like to bring that into the words and the pictures and the kind of bring back some sort of old school magic into the words I'm trying to say. But it's very difficult, particularly at a major championship when there's so much golf to cover, there's so many players in the field, and as a result, the producer has to move really quickly with the pictures, and there's not a lot of lingering.
Yeah. They must have learned, because I've tried to avoid becoming like a YouTuber, which is like to say, all of the tricks to keep retention high, right? But YouTube wants you to see this part of the video, everyone stopped watching.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, but I liked that part.
I
That was
know.
the part that actually expressed my feelings.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see that.
Sad.
But I'm sure that broadcast, they see when people leave, and they probably leave when they lingered too long. And you're right. They probably want to just keep it moving.
Yeah, I'd love to know the stats on that, really, and what do people really want to see. I'd like to know the answer to that. Perhaps anyone watching this can give us their thoughts, but I feel like
Comment below.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the old broadcasts, you see these montages when it comes to the Open, and it goes back to the the 70s at Royal Lytham, and all these wonderful, the 90s here with Nick Faldo, and I feel like the commentary there is slower, and there's a magic to that, and just kind of an energy that's different to what we have now. And I think people did enjoy it and do enjoy it. So maybe we should test it, create a channel that just lingers, see who watches it.
Well, I've always wanted to do like a side carriage broadcast that you could basically turn on and would be synchronized.
So cool. That does exist in some sports.
Oh, really?
Where you can there's the world feed, if you like, that goes out, and then there's forget the name of it. There's a platform that exists in some sports where you can go and choose from 60 commentators.
Whoa.
And literally you can pick, and one of them could be your mate, and if your mate wants to commentate, you can listen to that broadcast.
I need to find that.
How cool is that?
Yeah, I want to do that.
Because
I would love to commentate in a way that's totally irrelevant.
Yeah. Just when, something mad is going on, and you just point out the woman who's eating a banana or something.
Well, mostly while Tiger is playing, I would try to really figure out what's going on with the footwear. Because he's wearing FootJoys, folks.
Yeah.
We're not talking about it. He's not wearing Nikes.
Yeah.
I would be trying to figure that out.
Well, we did talk about it at the Masters, because that's when he first came out.
What's the story?
In the FootJoys.
Tell me the answer.
Well, the story is that FootJoys provided the stability for him after his accident, and I'm wearing some FootJoys now that I've been wearing for I have done 50,000 steps in these in the last few hours. FootJoys a lot of them are leather, and so there's a lot of stability, and they have that old school kind of stability in the sole. Nikes are a very modern shoe, and the kind of more trainer shoe, so they look really cool, and for kind of on and off the golf course, they're epic. Rory McIlroy wears a lot of these kind of Nike Airs, and I just don't know how he plays in those, because it looks like he's almost wearing a high heel, and I just wonder how that affects his balance and things over the ball. But Tiger spoke about it very briefly at the Masters. He came out in these FootJoys. FootJoy didn't sing and dance about it. There's obviously there was an agreement that wasn't going to happen. But there was obviously, it couldn't not be ignored completely. It can be ignored completely, and he came out and said it offered stability, and so
I would probably just keep talking about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a pair of FootJoys.
Yeah. I mean, some of those FootJoy
I like them.
Traditions, I think they're called.
Yeah. I have the Buscemi's.
They're unbelievable.
The cream color. I mean, it looks like dessert, basically.
Yeah, they're honey.
What happens out there that we don't know? Is there anything out there that happens that you don't know? Do people is there any drama that occurs, or any do you ever talk to Rory during the round and you're like,
yeah,
what do you say?
I spoke to Rory today on the 8th tee.
What do you say? What is that?
He came off the back of the 7th green, and the way the old course plays is it gets kind of gridlocked. It's not because the players are slow, it's because there's double greens, and there's an intensity and a kind of proximity to it that's a lot more touchy-feely. You've got double fairways, sometimes triple fairways in those opening holes.
Yeah.
And then you just have these sticking points. But I kind of love it because it's all right there. You can stand in one point on the old course and see 6 different holes and what's going on. And I just think there's a magic in that you don't get in the kind of modern golf courses that are sprawled out and it takes 5 minutes to get from a green to a tee.
Right.
I love that old school intimacy that you feel out there. And so McIlroy, I was with a group ahead of McIlroy, but got to see a lot of Rory playing because I was just kind of keeping one glance over my shoulder as what was happening. And he just walked off the 7th green, and we just had a little chat about life, really. So
about life?
Yeah, a little,
on moving day at the Open Championship.
What we're up to next week, and,
What are you up to next week?
I'm going to a wedding in the south of France.
He goes, hey, Iona, what are you up to next week?
Yeah, he was like, hey, how's it going? what are you up to next week? And I was like, yeah, well, I'm going to Bulgaria, and then I'm off to a wedding in the south of France, and yeah, just super light. And I would always, in that scenario where you bump into a player on the course and you chat, I was chatting. I was out with Bryson DeChambeau earlier today, following him around, and then I came back in, did some live presenting on the range, and then I went back out with Dustin Johnson, Scotty Scheffler, and followed their round. And yeah, DJ was chatting to me during the round, and Bryson this morning telling me how he can't get a handle on these links greens, they're too slow, and from a setup point of view, his putter's not right and he's not rolling the ball right. All kind of scientific stuff for Bryson. So yeah, they come over, they have a blether, but I think, as a commentator, they would never come and speak to someone that they think is going to say something that's going to plant literally anything in their head. So generally I just let them do the talking and ask questions, and I've never say anything really much at all, just other than really, really lighthearted chat. You just don't want to take them anywhere or say anything, or because they're in there doing their thing, they're in their zone, and it's their space.
Yeah, it strikes me as like, if Rory comes up to you during a game, basically during a project, while solving a puzzle, he comes over to you and says, "What are you up to this summer?" It's almost like I'm trying to wonder, like, what is the purpose? Like, what is he? You know what I mean? Like,
he's killing time.
Yeah,
he's killing time and trying to feel normal, I guess, because so much about this tournament and any tournament is amplified, and emotions are amplified, and the intensity of it can get into your head, I think. And so if you're just casual, and you can see a lot of it is them trying to just, remain calm and just not get amped up by the whole thing.
Yeah.
So if he just comes over and has a little chat, then it's just like a normal day.
I could just think like a house of cards. He like, how's it going? And then just like Tourette's,
Yeah.
Like, that's so interesting to me. Probably, especially for Rory.
Yeah, I mean, I know Rory a little bit, and you being out there when you work in broadcast, you're following the tour around all the time. So you kind of get to know these guys, they get to know you, and they know you can trust you or that they can't.
Yeah.
And I generally follow, the DP World Tour. Not
like, what PGA. Journalist wouldn't you be able to trust, do you think?
Many. Yeah, I think you mark the cards.
I cannot believe... Was the book unauthorized, or was it...
Oh, I don't know. I've got no idea.
There's not any word on the street? Because I'm just kind of like... I don't like, we're talking about ethics here, but like, if you wrote a book about someone and didn't tell them you were writing a book about them, that's a little bit.
I find that a bit far-fetched.
I wish I knew what was going on there.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, there's plenty of people in town this week. I'm sure someone out there will know. There's all these people out there.
Somebody out there knows. The energy here is pretty intense. How do you make it normal? Because it's got to be really exhausting. Literally 4 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's 16 hours.
Yeah, it's really exhausting. I'm not going to lie. It is exhausting. And I think you are working to the limit here. But, it's not normal to work this length of time and these days and everything like that. But
18 hours. Sorry, I just did the math.
Yeah, it's a lot. But I don't know the answer to that, Eric. I'm still on my feet here, and I'm still going.
Yeah, you came in right after calling all day. Is that what you call it? Calling?
See, so I think in America they call it calling.
Yeah.
And that to me that takes away the artistry of painting it. But they say, I'm calling shots.
What do you do?
I like to. I'm commentating.
But you also, I think, most of the people, like, what did Peter Allis do before?
He was a player.
Golfer.
Yeah, he was a golfer. Oh. And so many of the commentators are golfers, but not always. Some of the best commentators and journalists and broadcasters have not played to the elite level in the sport.
Yeah.
They've obviously had an interest in sport, but it'd be strange to work in sports broadcasting and not have an interest in sport. But very often right now, the kind of living legend that I look up to is a guy you've probably heard of, maybe not in America, but he's called Ken Brown. Mm. And he's a BBC legend, and his way of words is something out of a storybook. And he's getting on, Ken. He's in the twilight of his career, and he's been an amazing mentor to me in the commentary world. And I just think he's magic.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Does the old course look different to you this week?
Yeah, I can't believe the way the old courses look. I've never seen it like this in my life. It looks a bit like a burnt biscuit. And I can't believe it. I've just never seen it so brown.
It's a decision. Do you agree with that?
Well, God's made a decision, or somebody up there's made a decision to burn it out in terms of the dry spell that we had. And in the growing season earlier in the spring, there wasn't a lot of rain. So I think, the rough isn't particularly thick or anything like that. But it's a shame that Monday through Wednesday, there was lots of wind. And then Thursday onwards, we've not really had much wind. So they've had to tuck the pins all away in these really quirky positions. I mean, some of it's like crazy golf out there.
Yeah.
And that was the only defense they had because these guys hit it so long. And most of these par fours, a lot of them are drivable par fours.
Yeah.
And then the fun happens around the green because they don't know what to do from there because the pins are in such weird positions. So I think it's been really entertaining, actually, to watch it. I've absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you going to say something?
No, not really. I'm just wrapped. Like I'm just close because I'm just focused on my conversation. R-A-P-T.
All right. Oh, R-A-P-T?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It means into it.
Into it.
Yeah.
Ah.
I'm just present. Well,
JoJo's into
the
it.
only thing we should mention is if there's a dance hall beat that comes on very faintly in the background of yours every now and then. As Erik said, we're inside some giant bar.
Well, it's only 9 p.m. It's
Yeah.
still bright. The sun is not even remotely
Yeah.
set. But there is also, counter to that, there's like a nightclub occurring.
Yeah.
Strange feeling.
That is strange. St. Andrews isn't, as a student, St. Andrews isn't a place you would come to if you want to go night clubbing. When I was here as a student, we had one nightclub.
Yeah.
And it was like half the size of this room. It was a place that, different experience. If you're looking for that kind of wild nightlife, this isn't the one.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for like dinner parties and small get-togethers, this is the one.
How, throughout the day, you have a lot of moments. Many of your moments are like work moments, technical moments, like microphones, moving around the thing, talking, working, thinking, talking, listening. How many moments do you get where time stops and you just see it and, it looks like a painting, it goes in slow motion, you see the Rolex commercial, you know what I mean? You're just like in the poem of it all.
Yeah.
How often does that happen?
Today it happened a couple of times.
What is it?
Well, when you come around into the 17th and kind of, it really from that kind of 5-hole stretch into town, I've never experienced anything like it really in my broadcasting career. I'm trying to, I've worked at the Masters and a couple of major championships, but this has been particularly special this week. And obviously I'm biased being on home soil, but I just think the atmosphere here in St. Andrews and, this kind of unique relationship between the golf course and the town, it's like the golf course has given the town permission to be here and not the other way around, and it's the course has been there forever and a day, and this town exists as its kind of assistant in some way. And you see all the people sprawling in the morning from the town, and then they funnel their way back in the evening, and it's just this wonderful kind of rhythm and relationship that goes between the golf and the town and vice versa. And when you're out there and everyone's there enjoying the golf, and I'm walking down the fairways with the best players in the world and looking at this amphitheater that surrounds me, if you stand on the 17th green, you can see 6 different grandstands. And so really it's particularly special this week, and there's been several moments where I've been able to really look around and think to myself, I wish I had the words to do this justice, because sometimes that's really hard. But on a normal week, following the tour, there aren't many moments that kind of catch you really like that. But there are more. It's not as hectic as this week as well. So the flip side to that.
Yeah, it's interesting how a course as like subtle as the old course is surrounded by something as like vivid as the town.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they need to be the yin and the yang. Like the old course would have to be a basic from an elevation. 11 feet is the tallest it gets.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, behind the
Incredible.
18th green or something.
Yeah.
11 feet tall.
Isn't that amazing though? That I think there's something in that. again, I guess it kind of comes back to the commentary, but more probably wider. Like, I know we go wide, Erik, so for life, really, in that that sort of subtle suggestion that the old course makes. Sometimes, you don't have to be loud to make a big impression. And I think the old course does that so beautifully. It's a gentle old girl, and yet she packs a punch.
Yeah. What word would you describe? I mean, you did just kind of describe the old course, so I apologize if this is redundant, but like, what one word, what one adjective would you give the old course? One adjective.
There's quite a few that have popped into my head already, but I don't feel like I've rung the bell. Give me a moment. Mythical.
Okay. Yeah.
I described recently in a brief podcast I did, very brief little interview nugget that I did for the No Laying Up guys. They called me when I was in a Sainsbury's car park, and it caught me off guard. Hey, what's happening about the old course? What's it like? And I described. A lot of people refer to the old course as the old girl, and I'm not sure why that is, but that's the way that she gets described. But I would also describe. In this moment, when I was thinking about it, I was actually describing the old course as an old man. And I think it can be both, but an old man that's lived a very, very, very long life, and something that you would get in a storybook. And I think in this, it could be an old man or an old woman. It doesn't really matter, I suppose, which way, but someone that's lived a very long life and has a lot of stories to tell, has seen a lot of things, and you don't know what side of the bed they're going to wake up on. And one day you might stand on the first day of the old, and he's woken up in the right side of the bed, and the sky is blue, and everything in the world feels absolutely as it should be. And on another day, it's the wrong side of bed, and you get out, and you're going to need 4 sets of waterproofs, 4 gloves, and your umbrella's going to break on the second hole. You get so many different experiences on the old course. And as it turns out, this week in St Andrews, we've had bright blue skies and hot weather, and I got sunstroke after Monday, and I can honestly say I've never had sunstroke in Scotland ever before, and it's not something I ever thought I would say. But this has been an uncharacteristic week in terms of weather, and that's brought a unique set of conditions. But mythical is the word I'd use because of the stories and the tales and the way that history is so integral to what you feel when you're there.
Yeah. It's interesting, I think a lot of the angles and the imagery and the advertising and the highlight reels depict these golfers as huge. They're all large, they're strong, whatever. They're colorful. They're the focus. The golf is kind of in the back, the town, the golf course. But if you the way I was hearing you talk about it, like the old girl, you zoom out, it's the course is fucking 10 times older than anyone on the course. And if you zoom out wide enough, it's just these little ants walking around, just trying. And sure, they're going to break par, but who cares? What's even par? If you reparred this course right now, it'd be a par 66, and then it would be even. You know what I mean? If you really had an adjustable par that included weather and, whatever. And it was interesting to think about, just all of these, super top elite athletes that we're afraid to even say hi to, right? But it's they're just ants walking around.
Totally. I love what you're saying there about the zoom out and zoom out and zoom out. And I think that's a really amazing thing to do in life. And, sometimes I do that when I feel life is too much, or when I get really nervous, because some parts of my job do make me very, very nervous and quite anxious.
Wow.
And certain interviews, like tomorrow when the winner's putt is holed, I'll be there.
That's you.
I'll be speaking to them straight away. And
you're the first in.
If they're not an American winner, if they're American, they'll go to Amanda Bailey-Onis and the American channels.
Interesting.
If it's an
wait, that's so interesting.
If it's not American, then they'll come to the British or the other broadcast first.
And they'll still go to Bailey-Onis for the CBS.
Yeah, after.
And you're doing Sky.
Yeah.
There's the only 2 people that are going to on the green interview.
Last year, I'm trying to think. Last year, I did it with Colin Morikawa last year, and there was more than 2, so there was maybe 4 there.
Wow! And what do you get? What's the you get 2 questions, 3 minutes? What do you get?
2 or 3.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
That's a lot of intensity.
I'm quite looking forward to it tomorrow, and I feel quite relaxed about it. But you feel like that right up until the gun, but then you get there and you're like,
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like the ride. You're not ready to go. Don't go. The bar goes down. So wait, they hold the putt.
yeah,
They cry. They walk off the green. They spill water on their shirt.
yeah.
And then, oh Jesus, it's fine.
Sorry.
And then they're just like, then you're just there and you're just like, so.
Yeah, so I don't know the order of it, but more or less, yeah. And that's what I have to do quite a lot of the time. Wow. So last week at the Scottish Open, it was an American winner. Amanda Bailey-Unis had him first, Xander Schauffele, and I had him second.
And do you and Amanda go over questions, or you're like, I'm going to do it?
No, I've never really met her properly.
Oh, really?
No, because, they have their own kind of thing, their own place,
crew, right?
their own thing, yeah.
Cool.
But, I mean, she does a great job. I've never met her.
Yeah.
Do you know what your question is tomorrow yet? Like, does it just happen on the spot? Do you have your general idea?
I've got a loose idea of, no, definitely not on the spot. Mm-hmm. I will prepare that like a lot.
Because you want it to be understandable and complete and concise.
I think for the Open and the 150th Open, it has to be like really, you have to go, it's a different winner's interview compared to any other that I will ever do, But yes, there is a kind of method to it, and then, of course, you're listening, and if they say something that's of interest, then you pick up on that rather than launching into the next question. But
yeah, you've got a little question tree in your head.
Yeah, question tree.
Ready to go.
Exactly, question tree.
That's sick.
Nailed it.
That's sick.
But as I was saying, the zoom out is just such an amazing thing to do for your mind. And I find sometimes if I feel really nervous, I used to get it in golf too. If I felt really nervous, I'd go, I'd literally see St Andrews in the East Nuke of Fife. I'd zoom out to Scotland. I'd be like, okay, now let's zoom out to Europe. Now let's zoom out to this. And I'd literally see myself as a tiny little ant and be like, meh. Like, really? Like, why do you give that many shits, Iona? Like, nobody else does.
Yeah.
And nobody cares. So stop thinking you're so important and just do what you need to do.
Yeah.
And I find it can really help with sort of nerve-wracking situations.
Yeah. Have you ever gone as far out into the idea that we're on a spinning rock in the middle of space?
Yeah.
That's a fun one.
Yeah, I have gone like far out.
Like,
you can lose
and I'm trying to book a flight around a spinning rock.
Yeah. Yeah, you can really go far out there. I've watched some YouTube videos on like the beginnings of time.
Yeah.
I forget that guy.
Big Bang.
He's amazing. Oh.
Carl Sagan?
Carl Sagan. Oh, the pale blue dot.
Yeah, so
that's an amazing video.
Carl Sagan stuff. This is like so weird that we're talking about Carl Sagan because when I was a student, I used to listen to Carl Sagan at night. I'd put the YouTube video on at night.
Yeah.
And I just find Carl Sagan and it would help me put my whole life into perspective.
Should we listen to it right now? Do we have 3 minutes?
Let's do 3 minutes, yeah.
I can do it. I'm going to play it on my phone. Hang on.
Carl Sagan.
The pale blue dot, right?
All of them.
Pale blue dot is like my jam. I love that one.
I can't get enough. And he's got a commentator's voice like Peter Alice.
He really does.
His voice and his storytelling link lovely with our conversation about.
Yeah, right up next to the mic.
Yeah. All right, ready?
Yeah, I'm so ready.
And I gotta just. Oh, I have like the zero internet situation.
Okay, let me try.
Oh, maybe I got it. Let's see. This is 3 minutes and 30
That's
seconds.
Here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives. The aggregate of our joy and suffering, thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines, every hunter and forager, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there, on a mote of dust, suspended in a sunbeam.
It says to live in the hearts we leave behind is to never die.
So yeah, on the 18th green tomorrow, after Rory holds the putt, you're going to go, our planet is a lonely speck in the great enveloping cosmic dark.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
It says it all, really. Nice summary.
It sounded different than I remember it last time. For some reason, last time I thought it was, I don't know, sounded different.
Really? I thought it sounded heavenly.
Yeah. I mean, it sounded maybe even more beautiful, yeah.
Yeah. It was good, and I just think, to zoom out, basically. That's where we got from that, was just, I think it's a really healthy thing to do, and we should do that more.
Yeah. Zoom out sessions.
Yeah, zoom out sessions.
Okay, so last question.
Okay, Erik.
I've asked everybody this.
Okay.
Take your time.
Okay.
You've had how many rounds at the old course?
In my life?
Yeah. Hundreds, yeah.
A few hundreds.
Yeah.
100.
Yeah, at least. Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay. Around, yeah.
Maybe not a lot.
Yeah, got it. Maybe the most.
Okay.
Okay, of anywhere. Or the most this course you play the most? I'm getting into the weeds. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter a lot.
The final question is, around the old course, specifically during this 150th Open Championship, there are a lot of inanimate objects. Which one would you be this week and why?
Whoa. What a question.
You can take as long as you need.
Okay. I know what I'd be. I'd be the clock on the RNA clubhouse. Somebody said that already.
I can't believe no one has ever said the same thing. It's incredible. Keep going.
Well, it has the best view, best seat in the house, and yeah, that's it really. The start and the end. It's peace and quiet. It's up high, and it's taking it all in from above. And yeah, that's the heart of the amphitheater, the body of the Kirk. It's right there, soaking it all in, and yeah, and it's always there, and always has been, and always will be.
Whoa. Yeah, everyone has said something different. No one said the clock. No one said whatever. I can't. That's incredible.
What kind of things?
What a good answer.
What have we had? Swilken Bridge, obviously.
Well, Peter Finch said Swilken Bridge, and then he changed his mind, and he'd rather be a gorse bush right next to it because he doesn't want to get walked on.
Classic Peter Finch.
Yeah. Someone said the old boundary markers that have the covers on them.
Oh yeah, the stone.
The stones, yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, because then people will check on me.
Yeah, Colin Montgomery had a very sweet thing to say.
What did Colin say?
He said the Saltire flag
Oh, the flag, yeah.
on the
'Cause
17th. The House
then
of
he would
17th.
be like able to see everything. Kind of people.
National pride too.
Yeah, there was a couple others.
Mia said the T markers.
Oh yeah, the T markers. Yeah.
I forget what you said. What did you say?
Because you could watch every shot. I haven't totally answered yet. I think I'm gonna actually, strangely, I'll answer
Okay, yeah.
because I thought you were actually gonna say this.
Oh really?
Yeah. Well, maybe I'm not sure. So I've said one time I said I'd like to be the scoreboard because that's kind of like truly iconic. The yellow and blue.
Totally.
It's
Yeah.
informational.
Incredible.
And at one time it was like the only way to know what was going on. Now it's obviously you're just on your phone.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. And then I was thinking maybe like the microphone that like, I don't know, but there's not one microphone.
It's multiple, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not really one thing. But I was thinking like the microphone at the end, the
I see.
speech.
To be the ball, the last ball that goes in the cup.
It'd be pretty cool to be the
The
ball.
winner's ball.
I was thinking about the cup, like picking
Oh, the cup
a hole
would be cool.
to be the cup.
The cup would be cool.
See a lot of this, a lot of
Yeah, the cup wouldn't be as interesting as the ball would be kind of awesome.
yeah, that'll be
Unless
very
someone
cool.
loses
But
it.
imagine you're the part of the ball that gets landed up on the bottom. You know what I mean?
true,
So
yeah.
you're rolling and rolling, and then it's just
Nothing,
dark.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if you were the ball on 18 that won, and you got to see it all as they raised their hand, and then they chucked you into the audience, and you had a whole new life, and you got to sit on someone's mantle while they got married and had kids, and then you were just there for their whole life. And then where would you go?
That sounds
Like-
like a kind of Pixar movie.
The
with-
montage
That's
from
a
up,
kid's
yeah.
book, yeah. If you were the winning ball, you would have an extraordinary life as a ball, but not on every ball gets that.
Wow.
Oh, and then you'd see the life of the losing ball, the ball that didn't win
Yeah,
right next to it.
That's the other series.
Maybe
Split screen.
you would see all sorts of balls come and go. Maybe there'd be a hole in one, and you would look at him and be like, "Buddy, I was at the Open at St Andrews.
And I won.
I'm the." He would maybe think he's the winning ball. He would think that he won. He wouldn't realize that there was a human that was active.
I found my home.
He's like, he like gives all these pep talks to other balls in the house. Like there's a volleyball and a baseball, and he's like, "Let me tell you how it works. It's persistence. wins championship.
All the other balls behind this ball's back. It's like, come
He's
on.
like, let me tell you, in my youth, I resisted the urge to get lost. I just want. That'd be really good. Stay in the short stuff, you know. This could be good. A personalized golf ball fairy tale.
I like it.
Do you want to co-write this?
Yeah.
Let's write.
Children's book, yeah.
What would we call it?
The ups and downs of being a ball.
Top flight.
Might be copywritten.
This is going out
A
after
dimple. What? Dimple Johnny.
A dimple in time.
A dimple.
A dimple in who?
A dimple in time. You know, like a wrinkle.
Time.
Oh,
like,
dimple in time. Yeah.
like your
I
clock.
was thinking, could we connect it to Carl Sagan?
Oh yeah.
Dot, just a small blue dot.
Oh yeah. Pale white dot.
Oh my
Pale
God.
white dot.
Mm.
I mean, it's
Small-
kind of cool, isn't it?
Yeah. That's kind of cool. That's very it's spiritual.
This is going out after the Open, so this is not going out tomorrow.
Yeah.
So with that being said, do you want to just take a wild stab at what happened, and maybe we'll just cut it out?
Well, you want Rory to win, but you're not allowed to say that.
I think I'm allowed.
Really?
Yeah.
But not on broadcast. You can't.
Not really like.
You can't have a
heavy on
bias.
Broadcast, no.
They tell you can't. What are the rules? What's the rule that you're just like, wow, I didn't know that was a rule?
No one really tells you the rule until you do something wrong, and then you learn that's the rule.
Right.
But I think you're not really allowed to kind of root for one player because you got to remember you exclude an audience if you do that. There's people watching from all over the world, and you're kind of having to make sure they all feel included.
So you have to try not to say, oh.
Yeah, but you kind of
Well, but I mean, at the same time, it's like he wanted that. You can say that, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can say, "Oh, I'd really love him to hold this. He deserves to hold this."
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You can say things like that.
Are you allowed to bet?
No,
Interesting.
no.
Because you're part of the story. I don't
You've got the
understand.
inside scoop, I suppose.
Oh, yeah.
Technically, like live sometimes is 5 or 6 seconds delayed.
Oh,
So
wow.
if you're doing live betting, there's these guys that take data down the fairways, and as a course commentator, I go down, I'm pacing out the yardage and all that. He's got the yardage, and I could just say, "Listen, mate, can you tell me the yardage? How far does Rory McIlroy have to the pin? Because my legs are tired and I don't want to have to pace." But they will not give you the yardage because they're giving it to the betting companies who are then working out calculations on.
Whoa.
You get people like, he'll hit the green, he won't hit the green, who'll hit it closer. You get
Based on the current scenario, you've got 4 minutes to get it in of whether he's going to hit the 16th.
yeah,
pin.
that kind of thing. So people are live betting.
So wait, that's the shot tracker. I thought that information was just for like the governing body currently, but that also goes to the betting companies.
Yeah, I think they get information as
Like
well.
FanDuel, for
Yeah,
example.
stuff like that, yeah.
Well, there you go.
So even though he's got the yardage on his little iPad, he will not give it to me.
And Iona doesn't get it
I don't get it.
because you could be
It
betting.
drives me bats. Because I just want the yardage.
Why don't you carry a rangefinder?
Well, actually, today I did take a rangefinder for the
Let's
first time.
go.
But,
Precision Pro?
no, I've got
Nah, it's fine.
my dad's,
Bad.
but yeah, my
Haven't heard of that one.
I don't know what it is.
We'll get you a Precision Pro.
Yeah, I don't know what the rules are on that. No one's told me off, but
Interesting.
I'm really breaking the rule.
Yeah. You could also wear a, anyway, whatever. That's amazing. That's so
Alright.
cool. The clock.
Yeah, I'm the clock.
Sort of an old clock.
You're pretty old.
Are you an old soul?
Old girl.
You are?
Yeah, old girl. I'm getting older by the day.
Favorite quote?
Of all time.
Yeah. You have a quote you go to? Come on.
Oh goodness.
Tattooed in Ibiza.
Oh, in Cabo. What is my favorite quote? Wow, goodness. Testing my brain since I've been up since 4 a.m.
I haven't heard that one. Sorry, it's terrible.
Favorite quote. I think "Be the change you want to see."
Ooh, that's good. I like that one.
Yeah. Now, I'm gonna keep that anonymous. Who said that, Erik?
Gandhi,
Gandhi. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Nice.
Mahatma, he was the ball. Did you hear what Gandhi's other quote? When he was at the hot dog stand, he asked for them to make him one with everything. You get it?
I get it.
Hot dog,
I get it. Good, Erik.
world peace. Okay. World peace. Mushy peace. Are you in or out?
100% in.
Out.
So if Cam Smith wins tomorrow, does he go to you because he's Commonwealth, or does he, because he lives in Florida, go?
I think it comes to us.
I mean, he's got an Aussie flag on his name.
Yeah.
That's for dang sure. He might pay U.S. taxes, but he ain't American. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, that's been fantastic.
Thanks, Erik.
Thank you.
It's always good to see you, and I wish I had more time, but a wee blether is better than no blether.
The clock on the RNA Clubhouse is quite busy. You got to get back out there.
Yeah, time's ticking.
Oof. Oof. Thanks for joining.
I too.